Like, I don't really know much about football, but he's a gamer. He showed it at every single level. I don't think football understands what gamers are. Certain players can turn it on in the last 5 minutes, and some guys, they might struggle in practice, but when the game comes in and it's real life action, they know how to play. He has that it factor. I don't know who Dillon is, but I know he's old as right? You're talking about a 6-year college player. Hey, man, look, you're supposed to be better. You was in goddamn college for 6 years, bro.
So we got to talk about the biggest story going on in football. Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, made his NFL debut this past Friday, leading the Browns to a 30-10 win over the Carolina Panthers, sending a message to his haters. Shedeur went 14 for 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, both to undrafted rookie receiver Caden Davis. Also had 4 rushes for 19 yards in the game. Performers drew praise from around the league, especially considering that Shedeur currently listed as the Browns' 4th string quarterback. The other 3 were hurt. Obviously, Deshaun Watson starting to get back into it as well. He will be in the mix at some point potentially this season. But Shedeur's had limited reps with the first team. Some considered him starting the first preseason game to be setting him up for failure due to those lack of reps. But Joey, we'll start with you. Exquisite football knowledge. Obviously, football family out there getting it. What did you think about Shedeur Sanders' NFL debut with the Browns?
I thought it was as good as it could possibly go. He's going to have to do that to get the starting job. And that was step 1. Go out there, be the starter, look good, play fast, be efficient, do what's asked of you. We look at preseason really as, an opportunity for young guys to get reps, obviously, but also you get a little preview of who the starters are going to be. But the Browns are in a really unique quarterback situation where it's kind of a wide open playing field, or at least it should be, because you've got Kenny Pickett, who's of course hurt, but would ideally be the starter because he has a little bit of starting experience, but he's a career backup. Like, it's not like he is going to emerge into a franchise quarterback. You got Dillon Gabriel, who was drafted before Shedeur, but is in practically the same boat as Shedeur as far as having an opportunity to be the starter. And Joe Flacco, who we know is there to be a vet and is sort of just a safety net. So the Browns starting job is and should be wide open to whoever goes and wins it. So his first, NFL start preseason game, we know that there's, backups everywhere. There's guys who aren't going to make the team who are out on the field, but that is your opportunity for live ball. So for him to go out there and look like that, I don't think is a need to overreact to it. I don't think there's a need to jump out the window with anything, but there's steps to things. There's processes to this game, and playing in your first NFL preseason game against, not for nothing, but mostly NFL players, and looking the way he did, I think is a great start. That's all you can ask from him at this point. Now, I do understand what people are saying. He doesn't get first team reps in practice and he hasn't been getting them in camp. Well, if he's not supposed to or slated to be the starter, which at this point he wasn't, he shouldn't be getting first team reps. Now, this week, though, I think that they should. I think they should throw everything at him in practice. They should have him out there with the ones and give him more opportunities to grow into that space, because not for nothing, but everybody's hurt anyway. So it's not like the idea of him being the starter, when you look at what's going on with the Browns quarterback situation, is not far-fetched, even if he didn't really play that well. So I don't want to overreact too much to him having a good preseason game 1, but I do think that it deserves merit and attention because he looked good, and that's all you can ask from him at this point.
Hey, no, that we overreacting because we know the haters were watching. We know the haters were watching, ready to hate. Y'all were out there ready to hate. Y'all were rooting against this man.
No, I love Shedeur. I think it's
not you. I'm just saying.
I think it's egregious that he went where he went and what happened to him in the draft. I think he's absolutely better than where he ended up going. But yeah, people were ready to hate. So from that perspective, I'm with you. Jump out the window, because the haters would have jumped out the window if he didn't look good, even if we were all just saying, hey, this is just a preseason game. There's no need to overreact. So I'm with you there.
They hate to see a confident black man with a famous father out there doing it on the field. But nonetheless, Shedeur endured. But let's shift over to Gil. Gil, I know you're getting into football now. What did you think about Shedeur Sanders?
Me, just like anything, man, I love to see people be successful. Right. They said his arm was sore for all the extra practice he was doing because he wasn't getting practice. And it shows you that a kid is willing to do what it takes to try to get better. And, the fact that he went out there in real game time, like, practice is cool, right? Everyone looks good in practice because it's all controlled. Real game time against real defenders, he looked great, right? He did look good. Like there's no, like I don't really know much about football, but he's a gamer. He showed it at every single level. When he was at the Black College, Jackson, then he went to Colorado. He showed that he is a real-time gamer. And I don't think football understands what gamers are, right? Like fourth quarter players, like certain players can turn it on in the last 5 minutes. And some guys, they might struggle in practice, but when the game comes in and it's real life action, they know how to play basketball, football, and that's what he has. He has that it factor, and you can see it in him. So I don't know who Dillon is, but I know he's old as right? You're talking about a 6-year college player. Hey, man, look, you're supposed to be better, right? You're supposed to be a little bit better. You was in goddamn college for 6 years, bro. Like you supposed to. But my thing is this. What was the point of both these quarterbacks? Why are you drafting both of them? You know what I mean? Like 1 and a third. Why take Shedeur if you already took another young quarterback? You want both these guys to face, like one you're going to have to get rid of. And most likely is going to be Dillon because one is obviously a ticket puller. As you can see, ticket prices went up, right? So the fact that you can see he plays in real time, he understands the game, he know how to make plays, right? The defense is real. It's not practice defense. Now, repping with the ones, why wouldn't all quarterbacks practice with the number ones?
I'll let you handle that. Well,
because you want the guys who are going to start to be working with the other guys who are starters. So it's not that the quarterbacks never get reps with the ones, but they're not going to get the most reps with the ones. And if you're like the fourth string quarterback, you're taking away reps from the guy who is actually going to start. And of course, as your quarterback, timing with the offensive line, with your running backs, working with your receivers and the receivers that you're actually going to be throwing to, as opposed to guys who are probably maybe going to make the practice squad. The speed is different. You're developing relationships. So like who gets the most reps with the ones does matter. But in this particular case, you know, again, everybody's hurt. So it's like getting chopped up differently because of that. So he'll now probably get and should get more reps with the ones because at this point, what we've seen through preseason and of course the health of everybody else on the roster, he will likely need more reps with the ones. But that's really just what that means. It's like you're not going to have, you know, practice squad guys out there taking away practice opportunities from who will eventually be the starter day one for the season start. So that's just why they do that.
Yeah, that just seems weird to me because obviously the number one quarterback looked great with the number one receiver, right? That's just
not all the time. Not all the time.
But I'm saying, like, you have an advantage. You're throwing to a Pro Bowler. I'm throwing to a nigga who didn't get drafted, right? So, you know, it's
that was the concern with Shedeur because if you are, how are you going to have an opportunity to cut through or show what you're actually capable of doing if you're only working with guys who will likely not make the team? So, you know, that was my concern for him. What's actually ended up happening is because everyone has gotten hurt, he's now gotten the opportunities. Preseason was always going to be where Shedeur was going to have to shine because if everyone was healthy and he didn't come in until like the third quarter, he was going to have to do great in the third quarter with whoever was playing in the third quarter as well. Like this is the time for him to get the opportunity to show that he's better than where he was drafted. So he did that. But the situation, again, is kind of unique with the Browns in that they have all these quarterbacks. To your point, inexplicably drafting 2 quarterbacks. I know Washington did it and it worked out for them with RG3 and Kirk Cousins, but like the draft picks matter. Like you using, especially at a quarterback. I always say if you have more than one quarterback, you don't have a quarterback. Well, the Browns have 4 quarterbacks. So they really are throwing stuff at the wall, in my opinion. But this could end up being a great opportunity for Shedeur because if he's the only one standing, then he's going to get those repetitions and opportunities.
So basically you're saying that the Browns' eye on quarterback is kind of like my eye in football right now, right? I mean, they've had 30 years, and I don't think they've like hit the nail on the
It would be such an insult, Gil, to say that your football knowledge is as good as the Browns have been at picking quarterbacks. The Browns are legitimately the worst.
I'm just starting this day one talking about football.
I don't think you have to be that humble.
Yo, you sound like a seasoned vet if you don't draw attention to it.
Yeah.
Don't say shit. You sound better than other niggas.
Qualify everything you say. It's okay. You're doing great. Hopefully this will be the moment that the Browns turn things around with the quarterback choices.
I feel like the situation with Shedeur is like when you go for a job interview and they're like, oh, you don't have enough experience. Well, how the fuck am I supposed to get experience if you don't give me the job to get the experience to get it?
Correct.
But Joy, in your opinion, we talked about before the draft, Shedeur like was supposed to be what, top 10, first round grade as a QB. Seemed like there may or may not have been some collusion amongst the NFL owners to not pick him. Seemed like just some funny business. Obviously didn't get drafted day one. I don't think day two either. Had the function, had to go speak in front of everybody, say God had another plan for him. But how crazy do you think it is to see a talent like Shedeur slip to the 5th round? Or do you think he was overhyped to begin with?
No, I do not think he was overhyped. I think that there is a real, I don't know what the right word is, like disdain, or like there's just this thing that people have about Prime, and we've seen it at every place that he's gone, because when he first got into coaching, they were mad that he took great recruits there, mad at the recruits and him. And then at Colorado, it's like everyone's mad that he's doing not what every coach is doing, because obviously Prime does a little bit different, but all of these programs have DJs and cool locker rooms and try to get celebrities to come out. Like it's like nobody lived through anything. Like, do you guys remember the 2001 Hurricanes? USC, like with Pete Carroll.
Snoop Dogg. I know.
Like, what is new here? The only thing that's new is that it's Prime, and there is this expectation, of course, that he's supposed to just like slide in all humble and quiet into the college game. Like, why would he do that? So there is this sense that like people are rooting against his success, and then by extension the success of his sons. And you know, I don't really do humble, as you guys know. It's like, it's not really my bag. I don't participate in that. You know, that's not my vibe. But anytime I see too many people saying somebody needs to be humble, I already know what type of time they on. So I think what happened with Shedeur was there was this like forced humbling of him and really trying to extend to Prime. I don't know how good Shedeur is going to be as a NFL quarterback, and neither does anybody else. If you think he's going to be great, maybe you're right. If you think he's going to be terrible, maybe you're right. How many first round absolute busts have there been at the quarterback position? The draft is, in my opinion, at the quarterback position, basically a crapshoot. I can list dozens of guys that were completely hyped in college, that people would have ran to the front of the line to say that they should be drafted higher, that didn't work out in the NFL for any number of reasons. So it's Brock Purdy was the last pick in the draft. The last pick in the draft. He's the franchise quarterback for the Niners. The Niners didn't know he was going to be that, or they wouldn't have picked him the last pick in the draft. Like, you can't have it both ways. You would never let a talent like that sit to the last pick in the draft if you believed he was capable of being as good as Brock Purdy has been for the Niners. So when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks, I don't think anybody knows shit, to be honest with you. So, and then there's plenty of evidence that I'm right about that. No disrespect to scouts, but y'all been not making the right decisions for many, many years when it comes to that position. Other positions are much easier to evaluate. So I think that there was definitely a forced humbling, however you want to contextualize the conspiracy theory of all that. But it's now up to him to prove them wrong. And in my opinion, success in the NFL can be measured in a lot of different ways. Like, do I expect him to be a Hall of Famer like his father? I don't know. Like, that's hard to do. It's hard to be a Hall of Famer. So I think if him being a starting quarterback in the NFL, period, is a success to me.
I would just, Joy, to your point about talent evaluators, the man is considered to be the greatest quarterback of all time by many. 6th round, 199th pick
Yeah.
in the NFL draft. So to your point, y'all don't know shit. But I think to the other side of it, with Dillon in particular, I'm a UCLA guy. I went to the UCLA Colorado football game a couple of years ago. I've been to plenty of UCLA football games in my time. It was the most turned up event that I'd ever seen. The amount of black people there wearing Colorado gear that have no affiliation whatsoever to Colorado, but there to support Prime. And then I got to be on the sideline on the Colorado side. T.O., Warren Sapp, all these human beings just rolling around. For me, I'm like, damn, if I'm a recruit, this is where I want to be at, because it is cracking over here. Their whole thing was very, very phenomenal. But shift over to you.
My thing is this. You're penalizing the son because of the father sold the school like he was supposed to. He got paid that kind of money to put people in the seats, and that's what he did in fashion. And then you're mad that the players are playing with that type of confidence. It's weird. That's the weirdest shit. Like, as Colorado, I'm paying him to do whatever is necessary for the world to look at us. And they did that. And they were successful. And they became superstars. Like, Sanders is a superstar. He is a mega star. And he showed it. What the ticket prices was before they found out he was playing. And when they found out he was playing, they hiked.
Yep.
There's only a few players in all sports that has done that. He's one of them, and you're penalizing him.
Well, also, like, let's not leave out that he also coached Travis Hunter, who is a certified star. Everyone thinks is a game-changing talent, and we're just like glossing over that. Like, oh, like we're not going to mention that happens, and that Prime was an essential part of developing him as a player and growing him into the success that he is now, and going from Jackson State to Colorado to a top pick in the NFL draft, a player that was talked about potentially going number 1 overall. We're not going to mention that. That's not important, right? We're only going to focus on whether or not Shedeur is going to be a success at quarterback, and that is the moniker of the success for Deion Sanders as a coach, which, by the way, as you mentioned, Josiah, recruiting is an essential part of being a college coach. One may argue it's the most important talent you have to have as a college coach, because now not only do you have to recruit, you have to re-recruit your players every single year. You have to make sure that they're making NIL money if they're a top player in college football. You have to obviously take them from younger men to a little bit younger and then make sure that they stay out of trouble and that they grow as like adults and people, and they're ready to like launch into the world and be professionals at that level if they're good enough. That's a big ask. Everyone always like boils things down to these headlines of shit, and it's really pisses me off when it comes to coaching. And I don't know why I have like such a like thorn in my side about coaching, but I just feel like people, they make it seem like it's the most important thing or it doesn't matter at all. And it's like, coaching is so fucking important, especially in football, because there's so many moving parts. There's so much that goes into it. There's you're dealing with young people who are like growing into adults. You have to keep this entire program together, deal with boosters, bring attention, sell tickets, handle the collective, make sure NIL is going on, make sure all your coaches are in line. Like, he did all of that, turned the Colorado program around to a respectable program within 2 years, and got Travis Hunter into the NFL. Then didn't get him there, okay? Like, was the coach of Travis Hunter, him and developed him, okay? Not for nothing, in the NFL, and Shedeur got drafted as well. Like, am I missing something?
What is combine like? Like, how do you evaluate a quarterback in a combine? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that the NBA combine is bullshit, because you can't tell who's gamers and who actually knows how to play the game of basketball when they're sitting there by themselves. That's fool's gold. So when you're talking about like a quarterback, how are you actually processing if he is good at what he does?
I mean, in my opinion, the combine is not really for top quarterbacks. It's maybe not even really for the top guys at any position, but certainly not for quarterbacks. Like a lot of guys don't throw at the combine anymore. They're really only doing the work at their pro days at their schools, working with the receivers and like the facilities that they work out in every day. So, I mean, again, they're in shorts, right? Like they got the muscles all oiled up. Like they're looking, they got, they hit the shop right before, they're looking their best, right? So they're going to have these like really great highlight throws at their pro days. They don't usually at the quarterback position do too much at the combine. It's really more for interviews, like meeting with teams, seeing how they interact with other guys. It's more for later round guys at the quarterback position to me. Like a lot of the guys don't even throw anymore.
So they're just going off of college film,
which they should be. That's what they should be going off of. They should be going off of college film. They should be going off of their pro days, how they interact with their guys at pro days, and the interviews. Like being a quarterback in the NFL is a lot like being a CEO. Like you're the leader. You're generally the face of the organization. You're the one that's going to get all the praise. You're also going to get all the criticism. So like, how do you handle media? How do you handle, what are your habits during the off season? What's your personal life like? Like, how do you interact in the locker room? Do guys like you? Do coaches like you? Like, are you somebody who's good with, the people in the facility? All that stuff to me is what matters when you're going through like the evaluation process. What type of system did you play in college? Like, what were your coaches like that, what do you do best? Do you even match and fit what we do as an organization and what our system is? Like there's so much that goes into it. That's not just evaluating.
And that's where I would have failed. Cause I would have been like, well, I'm not there no more. So why do I give a fuck how I felt? I'm here. What I gotta do here? This is the next level. You know what I mean? Like, he'll give a fuck about them niggas down there, man. What we talking about? What you need me to do at this level? Right? I don't care about the playbook over there. It's here. Like, I didn't have what's that? Metcalf over there. I'm not throwing it. I'm not throwing a OBJ. I was throwing a Tom.